It took a whole different sport to do it, but the LPGA has given the WNBA the blueprint on how to promote and embrace Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about it.
It's one lifetime, I come to tell the truth. Hit the bell, subscribe, and it'll come to you. For the best on the sports and the music tip, hit the merch store, join the team. This is Rich.
Now, I make videos on this channel where I talk about basketball quite frequently. I won't pretend to be an expert at golf or anything. I've played it a few times in my life. Go out there with my do-rag on and hit a couple fours and, stuff like that. But, Caitlin Clark has quite a large interest in golf. For everything that I've gathered, she would play during the offseason when she was at Iowa a bunch. And, it really became an event that a lot of people were heavily interested in, to the point where they were not going to televise her actually playing with them at first until, the fans raised the demand that so many of them wanted to see it. And let's talk about that in itself. The LGPA embraced her. Like, she's not a pro caliber player or anything, but when you see the machine that is Caitlin Clark showing interest in something that you do, or anything like that, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? They'll pair her with their number one player in the world, get some people to look at her, get some people to check out the sport that may not have before, and then Caitlin Clark gets camera time for them. Caitlin Clark does a sit down kind of press conference interview with, I believe her name is Annika. You get the walk and talk on the fairway that I've seen. That's just like 8 minutes of personality and stuff like that. I can't recall the WNBA doing better in an entire season than the LGPA did, as far as like wrapping their arm around her, promoting her, showing like, this is where it's at. And that she's not even their athlete. You would think the WNBA would be like, all right, we're going to have these interviews dropping at this time of year. We're going to try to, put her all over, the promotional materials. We're going to pull whatever strings needed. And at this point, you don't even need strings to be pulled to get her on the Olympic team and things like that, just to, promote your biggest star and by proxy promote the game. Because the LPGA, they knocked it out of the park this week. And I think is really cool for people that actually do watch golf. I'm sure, people that are checking out this video, there are some of you that, are in tune with that. Like, that is something I think a lot of folks are just asking for, as far as like with the basketball of Caitlin Clark. I saw a couple funny things happen where she hit a ball into the audience, and I believe she signed the golf ball after for the person that she hit with it, but no one was hurt or anything. That's cool. They had her with the number one player. I believe her name is Nelly Korda, I believe, and they put them together, with, a few interviews, as well as like being on the course. And it's like a good thing that seems like, all right, this isn't just a one-time thing. This might be a future, thing. A couple years from now, you're bringing the LPGA into whatever Caitlin's going on. She's going to put them, game courtside at a game or at an all-star game or something like that. And it's all seemingly in service of what could be a growing partnership between women's sports leagues. If the leagues can play their cards right, this would be something I think that you would want to do to expand and grow the game. The players themselves were starstruck in getting autographs from the LPGA. She drew a huge crowd. Tons of fans showed up with signs, and it was just like a really cool situation, quite frankly. She popped up with some custom Nikes, and I know that is a sensitive subject for those in the Caitlin Clark fandom, wondering where on earth her Nike shoe is by this point. I think all of us are kind of tired of the excuse that you can't put a shoe out that early or anything like that, because technology doesn't get worse. Over 20 years, back when LeBron James signed with Nike, they had one out same year within like 5 months. And I know Nike has other athletes, but who cares? Like, Caitlin Clark's far from the first basketball player to be enamored with golf. You can point to her direct NBA comp and Steph Curry, of course. Michael Jordan couldn't stay off the golf course, no matter if it meant gambling or not. You know, she was quoted as saying, I've tried to take as much time as I can to practice, but there's only so much hope. You just cross your fingers and pray, she said. She says no, she's practiced a little bit, and she, you know, had the quote about becoming a professional golfer. A lot of people took her serious about that. She was not serious, she said. She said she loves it. She loves being outside and making it competitive with her friends. But I don't think this week can be ignored. Like, this should be written down. This should be pointed at. Like, look what, you know, the ladies golf thing did for her. And it's going to be a great counterexample to anything that, you know, comes in the future, anything that has already happened with her. I didn't hear members of the golf media coming out and saying, hey, you need to, you know, bow down to the players that were already here first. You need to come in here and show proper reverence. And the fans, you know, they didn't like push the fans away, essentially, that were coming in. We didn't hear other players making snide remarks about the LPGA is more than one player. We didn't hear much of those things. So this was like seemingly like a group that had a mission, and they had all received their marching orders, and they were on the same page. Like, hey, we have someone here that's a star. Let's all stand next to her, and maybe this will do something positive for us. And you would hope that the WNBA might learn the same lesson. Anyway, my name is Rich. I'm up out of here. One lifetime. Peace.